ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout, this time on New Year's Eve.
But still on Thursday.
Yes. We have, of course, the prolific commenter. Oh, sorry. I'm your host, Charlie, and we're joined once again by the prolific commenter himself, Zealeus.
You're about to say herself. I'm very hurt.
Yes. Sorry, I was trying to decide on the top of my head.
The facial hair
that's
definitely
the
does
facial
not
hair.
make you a girl.
Oh, hey, I could be on testosterone treatment. You never know.
Or work at a carnival.
Bearded
Maybe
lady.
I am a carny. You guys don't know it.
I think we know.
It's
Maybe
my
we
alter.
do know, but you don't know.
It's my alter ego.
And, of course, our lovely special guest, the one, the only Julie.
The redheaded Julie.
It's half blonde. It's okay.
Oh, look, he even got the names in the right order. I'm very impressed.
Would you expect anything less from me?
Actually,
Don't
yes.
answer that. So as we talk, I will...
Was that like our headline title?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
It's our names.
us, us, us.
It
And
took-
then Charlie will engage
It's that
in his...
UGA education right
us!
Hey, at least use the Oxford comma. And Charlie
Oh, for
will
love God.
engage in his...
You know, if you're trying for product placement, you actually need to turn it so they can see that they're Mountain Dew.
Nerd.
Oh, believe me, you're going to see the entire
Oh,
show.
okay. Just making sure.
He's got to live up the stereotype of the nerd.
Mhm.
Every night. That's what he does.
Oxford, comma, Craig approves.
Craig, that's why I like you, because you do the Oxford. It confuses me when I
me
don't see the
too.
Oxford comma.
Yeah.
Like, there's a comma missing here. You fail. You get a red mark on your paper.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to point out that this is a great gateway into the festivities that are going to be this evening.
What's going
So-
on this evening?
New Year's Eve parties.
Is this the party? Is this our party? Is
Yes,
what we're
this
doing?
is the start of our party.
Whoop, whoop.
Who knows what else we'll be doing?
Raise your glasses to the party. Yeah, welcome.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Happy
Cheers.
New Year.
Happy New Year's.
A couple hours early, except
Yes.
for those that have already done it.
So, do any of your crazy people have resolutions for the New Year's?
Eat more chicken.
That's
Wait, that's Chick-fil-A. Where's the beef? No, wait.
Survive another year.
Woo! Keep it real.
Yes, survival would
Survival
be nice.
with two. Yeah.
Survival of the parents.
Especially since I think number 2 just woke up.
No. Let him. Oh, his eyes are open.
Yeah, his eyes are definitely open.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Yes, we have the monitor because we're good parents.
Our child is in it as well.
Dun dun dun. Anyways,
So
okay.
much glare.
All right, so let's break it down to a couple. Let's talk video games.
Video game. Why would we talk video games?
Now, as we have Julie on the show, I do want to ask resolution: make mergers and acquisitions a success, lose weight, stay employed. That sounds like a really good plan, Craig, and I totally support you in that. Just not financially.
Ouch.
I'll put money towards mergers
I
and
was to say
acquisitions.
you've already said you're going to once it's on
I know. I'm
Kickstarter.
gonna put money down for mergers and acquisitions. I'm also gonna put money down for Pugmire.
So there goes more of your paycheck that could be going towards your kids' college funds.
Yeah,
Just
that
saying.
too.
You know,
Thanks.
so when you get 20 years from now, when your kids are in therapy because they're going to go to college, we'll know why.
Ouch.
See how brutal he is?
Start out New Year's on a depressing note.
I know.
That's my New Year's resolution, to keep it real.
Anyways,
Keep it real.
keep it
I
real.
think you keep it pretty real already.
okay. So the question I have for you, Julie, is when you pick up a game,
Once in a blue moon.
once in a blue moon, how do you find it most effective for like a tutorial to kind of teach you how to do the game?
Ooh.
Do you want like pop-up bubbles that stop the game action? You read the text and then go back into it, or do you want to kind of like?
Figure it out.
Do you want like the pop-up to happen? So there's a couple things like for puzzle games when you're especially match 3, you have
Pop up.
you have a pop-up. You can either have just a pop-up or you have a pop-up that then outlines exactly where you're going to make that match, that's matchup for or whatever. In a lot of games, like the opening level, when you're kind of just moving around, it kind of at certain points as you're moving, it goes, oh, by the way, don't you know you can push the A button to jump while you're moving? So it doesn't break you out of the game, but there is a chance that you might miss it if you're trying to focus on something else.
I think it depends on the game for me. most of the games that I play are on cell phones at this point, so the pop-up is fine as long as there's the option to skip it when you've got it and you get, because it does drive me nuts when it stops the action and I'm trying to make a match and it's like, make this
By the way, if you
and
do
then it
this
won't
one,
let
you
you
can make
do
a ball.
anything
Yeah, it has to be that
else
specific
other
one.
than what they want you to do. That sometimes that makes me crazy, but you know, I'm not the best hand-eye coordination person, so I like a little direction, but I think I would probably prefer something that just kind of gives a suggestion to what you should do, because different people play different games differently. Well, there's a lot of difference in one sentence.
Okay, so to take that a step further, are you opposed to, because there's quite a few games that do the tutorial 2 different ways. Either every single time you hit that level or that section, you have to go through the tutorial, or there's also the there's like basically like a checkbox that gets checked once you've gone through the tutorial. If you ever play that level again, it just allows you to play the game.
Probably the second. I think I like the ability to skip. Period. I need that because I do like whatever that game was that you put on my phone, like, I don't know, months ago. We're like level 300 now.
Exablast.
Yeah, I really like that game because it's easy and I can pick it up anytime I want. But that was not the original. That was an add-on or a new one that they came
It
up
was
with.
a new version.
So I went back to play the original because I had reached a point where I just couldn't get any farther because I just couldn't solve those puzzles without handing my phone to you. And but you know, I already knew how to do it, and so I kept having these pop-ups and try this and try that, and it got annoying. But you know, yes, if I'm starting a new one, then I want some direction and I want some tutorials, but I don't want to have to do like a practice round that it doesn't count. I'd rather it be live, as long as it doesn't take away too much of my lives, if you have limited lives available.
Right.
I guess.
Zealeus?
One thing that really drives me nuts, especially in MMOs, is when they give you, say, the tutorial, and say you have like different texts, you know, helping, like this is how you move, this is go forward. But when they don't register that you've already gone through that tutorial. So like, for instance, like I'm playing Terra right now, I've seen the same damn tutorial text 4 times for like the same thing. This is how you talk to your banker. Go to this person. And it's like the same exact like helping text. I'm like, I've already seen this. Or it's like also if they had like the option to be like account-wide help, because same thing, like you start a new character, now you got to see all the help text again.
Right.
And that drives me absolutely nuts. So like, especially when the games, like I'm fine reading the help text once. Okay, I live with that. When they do it over and over and like they do a terrible job of recognizing, you've already read this before. Let's have you read it again.
So there's a couple options that, especially like in MMOs or in more complex games, where they have the help text always on, but usually they, upon hitting the first one, you basically can hit a letter or a button that allows you to basically skip the rest of the text or the rest of the level if it is totally just a learn this level type of thing. There's also an option where you could go into the there could, of course, you know, once you've played through it once, it automatically turns it off. There's usually also an option in a lot of the games to actually go into the option screen and turn off tutorial.
True.
Or
nice.
when you start a new character, it has a checkbox that says, "Would you like to play the tutorial?" Or go straight into the action.
That's true. Yeah.
So that piece, you know, but at the same time, I'm going to tell you this right now. It's a lot easier to just have the tutorial always play. A game that I played recently is called Purring Quest. Perfect Quest. Yeah, Purring Quest. And it's basically you're a cat.
I was about to say, it's a cat game.
So you go, it's a 2D platformer, and it lights up.
Oh, that's nice.
Ooh, fancy colors.
Okay.
And every single time you get to a specific spot, I think it's within, I don't know, it's like if you were to move through the specific spot for 2 seconds, during those 2 or 3 or maybe 4 seconds, it gives you a pop-up that tells you exactly what it is. Now, it doesn't matter how many times you've played the game, there's no option to turn it off, but at the same time, you know, you can literally, it doesn't pause the game to say, hey, by the way, if you push this button, you can do this. But speaking of Purring Quest, I do want to point out that after releasing the Ultra Confusion review to the company Valhalla Cats, that's the name of the developer. They went in, because a lot of people also said this, they went in and fixed the double jump issue because
What's going on? With
it was like you had to do like a weird kind of like button combination. Like you had to be moving, you had to hit the jump button, but you also had to like pair it with another button at the same
so
time.
it's hard to do.
Yeah, absolutely. It was
No, that's funny. Though.
it was complicated just to do a double jump where you could, why can't I just hit jump?
Whereas you got one of the most classic games ever for the NES
Mhm.
had no tutorial whatsoever.
No, yeah, well, yeah.
And you just learn to play it because you went along. It's like, oh, this is how I do it, easy peasy.
Right, and that's a very interesting thing to talk about is that games have changed a lot, and maybe for the better, maybe for the worse, depending on where you sit. For individuals like us who were basically at near the beginning of like the Nintendo and stuff, where you basically they had the text you saw was dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't, by the way, if you push this button, you could do this. And of course, that was back in the day when you had game manuals. If people actually
read those. Game manuals, I love the game manuals.
But anyways, but now, especially with like point-click adventures, you have there's a lot of hand-holding, and as a result, that hand-holding, when people go back or try to play games now from like yesteryear,
back in the day,
they get really really lost because they're expecting the highlighting of objects for this is an important object or a very clear thing. The game that I played a lot of, Prominence. I mean that was an old school point click adventure. The only issue was that because you're in a 3D world where you have both the x-axis and the y-axis. Axis, you could get lost, and the other thing was that the items were like minuscule in certain pieces, so you literally had to just inch the cursor along to see if you were missing anything.
Well, even if you look back at MMOs, when like World of Warcraft, when it first came out, there was quests, but there's no quest tracking. I mean, that is, you had no idea where the actual mob sphere quests were. Well, so in terms of guiding you, there was no guidance on World of Warcraft whatsoever when it first came out.
Well, the other thing is if you take World of Warcraft as an example, when you look at like a game like Evercrack or Final Fantasy 11, there's no indicator above someone's head that says, "I have a quest for you." You actually had to talk to all the NPCs.
But that's what people want, though. They want those indicators. They want the quest tellers.
But the thing is, if you jumped on the bandwagon in the early MMO days, you could still probably play that. But an individual who starts with WoW and then goes back to Final Fantasy 11 or Evercrack or something like that, you're completely lost. I went from World of Warcraft and I went back to Final Fantasy 11 for a couple months, and I literally had to have a wiki open and like had to have coordinates to figure out exactly where I need to be. And you also have to talk to the individual at the right time of day because they only have quests during these certain hours, which is just mind-boggling to me.
It's craziness, man.
So, yeah.
So it's all also player expectations of what the game is going to give them in terms of helping them to figure out what to do.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of like, you take a wide-open MMO. How are you supposed to know that you can craft over here if the game doesn't tell you? Are you just supposed to go talk to every single NPC and...
Well, yeah, it would be like having a tool table, like over on the side, and not until you actually walk up on it do you have any idea what the hell that's for. It could just be decoration.
Yep.
But I'm not going to lie, there's a lot of hand-holding in games, and that's because they want more individuals to be able to pick up the game and for them to pick it up quicker. Now, that's not to say that there are game developers out there who do that wrong, and they still, we have to make a super hard game where the learning curve is so extreme that we won't be able to retain more than 15% of our audience. Now, I was thinking more of Demon Souls and Dark Soul? No, Dark.
Demon Souls, I know what you're talking about. That's just a really hard game. There's
Absolutely.
two different type of hard games though.
Right. Okay. So Eve.
Eve is a graphical interface for a spreadsheet.
Well, that's one way to put it. Eve is the MMO you play while playing something else.
Yes, this is true.
Mhm.
And I've tried picking
I
up.
remember watching you play that and like,
I've
Yeah,
tried
yeah,
picking
Ju-
up picking
Yeah,
up.
Julie would come through the room and she's like,
what?
"Wait,
What are
aren't
you
you?"
doing? I'm mining.
It's like, aren't you
What are you
playing
doing
that?
now? I'm mining.
No, no. I'd have it. I'd have it on the TV, and I would switch between my. I had my
Like
PC.
football or something.
I'd have my PC hooked up to the TV, so I'd flip between football or a video game console and Eve, just to check from time to time to see if I'm done with my 28 jumps, or if I've either the asteroid is completely mined out, or I'm at full capacity and it stopped. And
That was a job.
I know. Well,
I
absolutely.
think that game was a job.
It
Well, for some
is.
people, if you look at those, some of like the cell
You don't
phone
get
games
paid to
nowadays
do that, do you?
are
Oh.
kind of the same way. Like Clicker Heroes, or another game that I just picked up called what's this dumb game called? Dungeon Rush. Where it's the same thing, where it's doing stuff in the background.
Yeah.
So you play these games while you're playing other games, because while you're sitting here, during a commercial break, you can log on to these cell phone games, pick up your loot, and it continues to do its thing
Right.
while you're doing something else. Obviously, a much pared down version of Eve, but still like kind of that same idea of like, hey, people aren't gonna always want to do stuff, so let's give them something to do in the background so they can come back in the day and it's done stuff for you.
Right. You kind of set everything up and then you just let it do whatever it wants. Like,
Which appeals to me.
there's a couple games that's like real time strategy type games where you have your kingdom and you build buildings and you have a limited number of builders and it takes X amount of time and X amount of supplies to build the building or to research or to recruit new soldiers. So you basically set all of that up and then you just leave it because you know that you're not going to be able to do anything because you've used up all your energy exploring for
Well, if you don't buy a shield, you're going to die in 2 days anyways and have to rebuild from scratch.
Well, that too. I mean, let's be honest.
I've tried those RTS games and they're usually terrible.
So there's a game that I've played a lot of, and hopefully this does. Yeah, okay. It's called Dungeon Link. There's definitely a heavy microtransaction piece to it, where you can get all these jewels to allow you to do extra stuff. But I have to say that put in a ton of hours, and I've never once made a microtransaction because what they do is they have a couple of So basically, when you use the real money to do stuff, they've got stuff that starts at like $29.99 and goes all the way up to like $300.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's nuts.
The pricing scheme for I'll let you finish yours first, go.
But anyways, but from time to time they'll throw up hey, by the way, if you haven't been spending your gems to like speed up the builds or whatever, if you've accumulated enough, you can actually spend like 20 gems, which isn't really all that much in the long scope of things, to then give you, I think it's like 10 days of extra loot. So every single time you log, every day that you, for the next 10 times, 10 times that you log in.
It kind of makes you a VIP member, basically.
Right, exactly. Gives you a little taste of the VIP mode.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, that's just some of the things like, with the pricing of microtransactions, like in Dungeon Rush. Again, I haven't bought anything in Dungeon Rush. And one of the reasons is when you look at and I know other kind of the RPG strategy games are very similar with their pricing scheme for like buying packages are so out of this world. Where the evil package where you get an item, a super god, and then something else is like $60. Or they got packages for like $100 for 2 of the heroes. I'm like, are you serious? Like, if that was like $5, I might be like, okay, I'll look into it. But for like $50, I'm like, are people actually buying these packages? Obviously people are. But like the pricing scheme of some of their package deals are so out of this world.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, what the? Like, I see it, I'm like, is that correct?
Well, yeah, there's definitely a lot of games out there that I feel it all comes down to a balancing issue. There are certain games out there that if you do not do microtransactions, you can't play past like a couple hours into the game.
Yeah.
Then there's other ones that are trying to shove microtransactions down your throat every like 20 minutes, but there's really no need ever to buy anything because you're still going at the pace that you can go at.
Well, like in Dungeon Rush, I've never actually felt the need to buy microtransactions. I've been fine just doing my own thing. And part of the reason is because of the pricing scheme. But maybe they do that, though, to make it hard to be pay to win. Maybe they want to make it such a price barrier to get those packages where only a few can pay to win, instead of allowing everybody to pay to win. So that way, the 95% of the people, they're playing the right way, where they're not paying to win.
Well, I know for a fact. I can't remember the names of the games off the top of my head, but I know that there's a couple of games out there that literally you get like the free version or like the paid with microtransaction. And so what they do for balancing purposes is that all the individuals who are on the free version, when you do the PvP aspect, are going to play the people in the free version, where the people who've paid are going to be in that other one.
I've not played those.
There's a couple mobile, there's a couple mobile one. What the hell you call it? It's basically you run from the left to the right, type deal. It's like you don't control their movement, but you constantly have like enemies coming on the screen. You gotta like tap them or set up your attack or whatever to kill them, and then it keeps scrolling. Well, actually, you know what?
I don't know what that.
There's a game called Soul Hunters that kind of does that, where you have like 3 different screens, but you just run onto the screen. You have your attack. Actually, the perfect example. Oh my gosh, what's the name of the game? Oh my gosh, it's a PlayStation 2 game. Oh my god.
Final Fantasy VII.
No.
I have no idea. Can't help you out.
No, it's not a PlayStation 2 game. Well, actually, the continuation of the franchise wasn't a PlayStation 2. It's actually a Super Nintendo game. I cannot remember off the top of my head. Oh, I am sad now.
Metroid?
No, it's not Metroid.
Suikoden?
No, it's not Suikoden.
I'm just throwing out random names. I really have no idea.
By the way, speaking of Suikoden, if any of y'all want to donate Suikoden 2,
Charlie's Suikoden 2 fund.
The Alter Confusion library, I'd be more than happy to add it. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I hear it's actually really good.
Yes, it's the best. It's the best one of the entire series.
Yeah, I never can really get into JRPGs.
Well, one of the biggest hurdles for Suikoden is that you have 108 characters.
That's a lot.
To get the best ending, you have to pick up all 108 characters.
That's right. Overall, my problem is I'm terrible at the turn-based tactics games.
This is
You're not tactical.
No, I'm not.
No,
I'm
it's
just
not really.
force.
It's not
Let's
really.
just die, mofo.
Me too.
It's not really I mean, it's a turn-based RPG. It's not tactical.
Well, okay. Well, I mean, when I say turn-based, I mean just turn-based in general. We're like, you're attacking them with your 5 people, and then they attack you with their 5 people.
So one of the issues that I have with RPGs and JRPGs is probably why I've kind of fallen out of love with JRPGs, is that
JRPGs is why I fell in love with JRPGs.
No. I said this is why I fell out of love with JRPGs, is that I like the old school ones. You basically built your party, and that's your party for the entire game. Mm-hmm. Now, like in games like Suikoden, where you're trying to find 108 people, and out of that 108, there's 60 playable characters. It like messes with my brain. I don't know what the best combination is. I'm going to stick with the combination I have. And people are like, well, why are you playing with that guy? Well, because that's the guy I've always played with. But there's so many different combinations. And that's a huge thing. And definitely with these like cell phone or these mobile games, where you have this ever increasing roster that you can either by sheer luck get, like for Marvel Puzzle Quest, or you do a microtransaction to unlock a special character.
Yep.
You got that kind of stuff.
Hey, Mr. Amp 130308. That's a lot of numbers. Are you that amped up?
I am.
Woo!
Is that a date?
130308.
The 13th of March of 2008?
Sure.
I don't know.
That's when they started to be amped. They've been amped ever since.
That's a long time, man. It just doesn't stop for some.
That's a lot of caffeine, man, or other stuff.
The good stuff, right?
Well, absolutely.
What does that mean?
Well,
we'll explain it to you later.
Just use your imagination. It's not appropriate for on-stream discussion.
No.
Fair enough. Well, so I'm bringing up a topic, and I have no idea if this is on the list of topics or not tonight. But
it is now.
I thought it was interesting. Charlie and I watched the show The Librarians. Have you ever watched it, John?
Negative.
It's like Warehouse 13.
Oh, Warehouse
Yeah.
13, I got you.
It's awesome. It's cheesy. I mean,
I have no
Warehouse
clue.
13 was cheesy.
the films were, anyway.
I watched cheesy. It's
Okay, no,
It's
okay.
cheesy, but the last episode that Charlie and I watched, which I'm sure is several behind because we're several behind
Two.
on everything.
We're two behind.
Was that the group of librarians thought that they were stuck in a time loop,
I hate when that happens.
but it was actually they were stuck in a video game, and they were
Ooh.
reaching a certain point,
They hadn't reached the next checkpoint.
save point.
Checkpoint, so they kept restarting it.
That's awesome.
And this one guy had to watch all of the other of his friends and colleagues die because
It's an escort mission.
And so I had
See?
never heard, exactly. And that was what they said. And he ended up locking everyone else in a room so that he could do it all himself.
So
because
he
was
could
tired.
solve all the stuff.
Yes.
But he kept going back to the room and grabbing someone who was good at engineering or someone that
Okay.
was good at brute force and someone that was good at. And it was really interesting because I didn't know about escort missions before that. And then, I mean, immediately as soon as he said, oh my gosh, it's an escort mission. And then one of the guys was like, oh man, I hate that. I absolutely hate those. I'm so sorry. And it was interesting because I thought it was a pretty cute episode, frankly. And then they ended up breaking the game, didn't they?
So he does a couple things that breaks the game. I'm sorry, spoilers. Spoilers.
No!
Sorry, I
But,
already spoiled a bunch of stuff.
But here's the curveball though.
Oh.
He successfully escorts everyone to safety but himself. So what happens is, because they completed the level, everyone goes back to reality. And so does he, but he has no memory of what's gone on because he didn't make the checkpoint.
Which is really sad because he saved everybody and worked really hard, and now he has no idea that he.
Do the other people remember that he saved
Yes.
them?
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
They do because they remember the last playthrough. They don't remember any of the other playthroughs.
Interesting.
So he thought he was just doing it. You know, they would when it would reset, they would lose their memory of everything
Except for
that
him,
happened before,
because
except for him.
he's the guy
And then
who's
in
doing
the
the
end,
escort.
he loses his memory. It was cute. It was a pretty deep episode for the librarians, frankly. But it was cute. And then the other topic that I have in my head is just favorites. You know, it's kind of typical for a New Year's show. Favorites from 2015. I should have warned you of this so you had a
Favorite
chance
games?
to well, I mean that is what this is about, is it not?
Typically.
Right. Yeah, typically. So Zealeus and I were having this discussion on Tuesday, and
sorry.
No, it's fine. One of the biggest issues that we face is that a lot of the games that we like, no one's heard of. The other problem is that games that we really like kind of resonate for a while, so it's really hard to determine, was that 2014 or was that 2015? Like a game we enjoyed, Sproggy Wood.
Sproggy Wood!
It was actually 2014. Mergers and Acquisitions. It's been around for a bit, but we played it in 2015.
And I typically play games that are 5 years old.
Right. He plays the bargain bin games.
I don't buy new
Yes.
games. $60 for a new game? No.
I agree.
No.
Charlie gave me a list of 2 on his Christmas list, and I picked the cheaper one, so I can't say anything at all. I love my husband, but Lara Croft it was
I
over.
put
what was the other one?
Ooh, the new one? I hear it's really
Fallout
good.
4.
I heard the new one's awesome.
It is. It really is good. It's really good.
Speaking of that, okay, how long has Lara Croft, the new one, been out? Not long.
Not
Not long,
I
like-
couldn't order it right away.
Did
I
you
had to
see
wait.
that they already have a $10 DLC? Yeah, okay.
Sure.
I
It goes
don't
back to your
know.
analogy. Okay, so
I
Charlie...
thought I had to I thought I was ended up pre-ordering it.
No, it just
It
been
had just
released.
come out.
Yeah.
So Charlie, last week or on Tuesday, he mentioned the perfect analogy, where some games back in the day, they had, your game was a square, and you had a little circle on the side for your DLC, because it's truly an add-on. Whereas nowadays, what happens with games, you have the square, and you have a chunk of it missing. And then that chunk missing is over here, and it's basically day one DLC.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of with Lara Croft, what they did is, thank you for a visual illustration, is they already have a DLC that you can purchase that basically adds extra difficulty to the game by giving a true survival mode, where you're gonna where Lara Croft can die of starvation and thirst. So they're already adding these extra survival modes to the game,
Cool.
which from the sounds of
I
it
would
looks
die
like
in
it should be
5
like
seconds.
core part of
Right. Seems
the
like a core
gameplay.
mechanic. Right. So
And you already buy it
back
for
in the day,
$10.
you've got this game, and then here's your DLC that you can add to it. Where now it's here's your game, and here's the first round of DLC.
Oh, that's sad.
But that's truly
It's
what it
genius,
is.
Though.
It is.
It is. It is. But
Smart
to
as
really
shit.
break it down, what it's all about is the money factor. The publishers want to make as much money as possible, and that's why.
Don't we all, man? It's America.
That's why single player is
Dying.
it's becoming a tutorial. So you can play the multiplayer, create your own storyline, create your own experience. You don't have any scripts you have to read. There's no one-time only levels you have to play. The amount of character
But isn't Lara
design
Croft very single
yes.
player
Oh,
still?
absolutely, absolutely. Now I'm not saying that every game's going to
It's
go
a
that
dying
way,
breed.
but it is. But the other thing is that most of those games that do still have a very strong single player piece to it now have a multiplayer piece, even though it may make no sense whatsoever to have a multiplayer
What I
piece.
really hate is when they take that multiplayer and they incorporate the multiplayer somehow into like your single player score
Mass Effect
or yes, the Mass Effect route, the whole.
You couldn't get the 100% completion unless you played multiplayer for a little bit to gain some.
That always
stuff.
ticked me off.
Yeah.
I'm still bitter about it.
You stay bitter for a long time, though. That's not saying much.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna drink more.
I'm
Thank you very
fairly
much.
short right now.
All right, ladies and gentlemen,
John Tall.
we are now about 30 minutes into
Because
the
we're sitting
episode,
up straight.
so I do.
Slouching, man.
All right, kids. So I do really want to show this off, and I really wish there were more people on. Oh, no, actually, there's a pretty good number right now. So what we're going to do is we have the pleasure, the privilege, to give you a little extra about the wonderful game, Mercs and Acquisitions, as well as another peek at the game Capers. This, of course, is a pencil and paper RPG created by Craig Campbell, who is C. Campbell 329 in the crowd. Hey there, buddy.
He's super excited.
He's
He's
really,
really
excited
excited.
about Mercs and
So we-
Acquisitions.
So let's
Craig,
get it
we're you
over.
a new cheerleader.
Yeah, I know. So okay, so here's the cosmic horror rules for Mercs and Acquisitions. You have insanity, which is the phobia, the obsession, the hallucinations. Actually, this would probably do me in. Not gonna lie. Psychosis.
is.
Then you have the incursions, time dilation, warped physicality. What's the warped physicality? Physical world changes into grotesque mockery of itself. Buildings lean, trees become bent and twisted, lights dim, animals flee.
This sounds like something out of H.P. Lovecraft.
Yeah, absolutely. That does. This seems very Lovecraftian, and I'm sure Craig could tell us.
Is Craig Campbell like H.P. Lovecraft's offspring? Maybe. Explain.
Reincarnation. Incursions are how the cosmic horrors change the world. Yes, you're right. It is.
That's creepy.
I mean, well, in Lovecraft, but
I thought you said
Here we
real
go.
life.
minor mutations.
Are wings really just a minor mutation? That's
You
a
are
pretty
able to
big
fly
deal.
as fast as you can run. Energy breath. Spider climb. Side blast. Stretchy. Okay, so we've got Archangel. We have, oh gosh, I'm guessing any Dungeons and Dragons dragon, Spider-Man, Jean Grey, Mr. Fantastic. I don't have one for four eyes though.
Oh, I'm gonna go with. Oh shoot! What's the name of the guy who? Scott Summers. Because he wears the glasses.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. So Cyclops.
Yeah.
Third arm. I'm gonna go with the. Oh gosh, what is the name of the character?
Octopus.
No. It's the name of the guy in the president of the universe in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
the guy with like two heads.
Yeah, he's also got a third arm.
Sam Rockwell was the guy who played him, but I can't remember his name.
Yeah, but that's what it reminds
He
me.
had a really terrible word.
And then major mutation, space mutation, your physical body becomes slightly detached from normal space and time. Are we talking like ethereal? Like you've got like an outer body experience?
Floating.
Fire manipulation. Ooh, apocalypse monsters. Rad spirit,
Sounds intense.
punch, broken bot, zombie. There it is.
Oh wow.
Zaphod,
That's a
Evil
name I
Brox.
haven't heard in a long time.
Finn.
Yes, he's really
Plus
excited.
Blotch,
He is excited.
Dread Horseman. So okay, that's basically the apocalyptic horses.
Great,
Horsemen.
it's the Four Horsemen.
Melty and Mega Bug.
Mega what?
Bug.
Oh, bug. I heard something completely different that would have been bad.
Okay,
Sorry.
listen. Again, okay, so that's an extra little spin on Mercs and Acquisitions, Cosmic Horror Rules, which of course I'm sure that Craig will bring them out At the bare minimum, he'll bring them out at AndoCon, which of course is happening in March.
Way to set expectations.
And of course, now here's the twist, ladies and gentlemen.
There's always a twist.
If you're interested in, we're going to show you a sample character sheet for his other game, which is called Capers. But if you want to be able to test Capers, you have to play one sit through of Merge and Acquisitions, which Zealeus and I actually played two. One
You
we
get the
basically played back to back.
privilege to. You don't have to. You're privileged to play through.
No, okay, yeah. So, but I'm just saying that in order to
Same.
play Capers, you
You get the privilege to play.
You must okay, fine. Yes.
You can't must. That makes it sound negative.
Fine.
I'm trying to help him out
we
here.
found the spokeswoman.
I know. Come on the show every time. Okay. Anyways, so here we go. Let's look at the character sheet for Capers. Now, of course, Capers stands for charisma, agility, power, expertise, resilience, and speed. Privileged. I
You're
like
welcome. You're welcome. I saw that.
Okay, so we have Marie Laurent Marionette, who has the puppeteer. You control small objects from a distance, so we're talking, I'm guessing, telekinesis. Your weapons,
Just my local puppet.
fist, feet, knife, and puppets. Ooh.
Puppets. You know what that reminds me of is Chucky.
That's an interesting thought.
Actually,
But I'm
that's
just saying, he wasn't a puppet, but he's still, and
so okay. So here's a breakdown of
you
what
enjoy
you
playing.
have.
You enjoy playing pranks on people,
You're a trickster.
and you're a crackerjack. It also sounds like from Suicide Squad.
Oh dang it. We're talking. We're not talking Harley Quinn, are we?
Yeah, it kind of sounds like her a little bit. Like the whole trickster, like, ha
Yeah,
ha, I'm gonna play prank, and you'll probably kill
Except
you in
the
the process.
puppeteer piece.
I could see her doing some crazy puppeteering, if you know what I mean.
Okay, that's probably illegal.
Only in 49 states.
Illegal.
Illegal. So
Trust me, if it's
Questions.
illegal in 49 states, it's definitely illegal in Georgia.
let's see if we have let's take a real quick look. Okay, so off the bat, I think that we probably need a little bit more explanation as to like all of these dashes that you find here, the way they break down. I'm guessing. Okay, well I don't know because you've got a number here and then there's a number here, so I'm not exactly sure how that plays into. Does this number correlate to stuff down here?
I'm gonna assume so.
My hair.
But then you get like a
It's
one.
like a paragraph head.
Or are we talking like is this the
Modifier?
Modifier.
I
don't
don't
know.
It's a good question.
You move the item up to
60 feet.
Damn.
That's a long ways.
Dashes being no rank in that skill. You default to the attribute above. Oh, okay. So unless otherwise stated,
Your base charisma
you've
is
got
1.
1. Okay,
So
got it.
those are your base
Okay.
stats. Okay.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. Makes total sense.
And in case you're curious, she's better at driving a car or truck than driving something normal.
Now, of course, the interesting thing about this game versus Merge and Acquisitions is that Merge and Acquisitions is based off a die roll. This is actually going to be based off of the flipping of a card. And I'm assuming that the numbers probably correlate to the number of cards that you'll be flipping in order to determine if you
Oh, you
successfully.
use cards in this game?
Yep.
So is it like deck building? Or
No, you have 52 plus the Jokers. Though the Jokers piece is not completely flipped.
so you're just using a regular 52 card deck.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, of course, if you want to learn more information about Capers or any of the Nerdburger games, you can go to nerdburgergames.com.
Or just ask Mr. C. Campbell.
Or you can
329.
always go. Yeah, buddy.
Or ask our super fan over here.
Yeah.
He's into it.
So okay. So let's pop back over here,
Where are we popping to?
back to the full fledged.
Whoa!
So-
There's a baby on screen.
So
Yay, Danny.
yay, Danny.
Way to be a rock star.
So okay.
I'm covered
So
in
that's
oil.
that's a further look into Merge and Acquisitions and Caper, and of course we will definitely be keeping a close eye on any and all developments, and of course Craig hopefully will continue to keep us in the loop with all of the changes that come to both the products, and of course when it goes on Kickstarter we'll have all the information, and I of course will be kickstarting
Of course you will.
both those.
Thanks for asking permission from your wife first.
Love you.
Uh-huh.
By the way, if you all have not guessed, that's my wife. Okay.
For better or for worse, honey.
Okay.
Well, I
So
wonder which one that is.
So I know that some of you out there have noticed that the name Craig Campbell does sound very familiar, and that's because we had him come on.
Because he's famous.
Of course, he's
the
famous,
man.
and he's also came on one of our Thursday night hangouts. I do want to point out that we have lined up a couple of more guests in the future. We haven't locked down dates yet, but we will also have a couple other individuals, and we would love to have Craig back as well when we have a little bit more time.
Indeed.
Do you want to say something to the camera? Is that it?
No, he's just giving me all the smiles.
He's trying to steal the camera spotlight, I think.
Okay.
He always steals the spotlight because he's cute.
You must take half this.
Tell the world, son. Tell the world.
This is Mini Charlie.
Oh, Lord save us all.
You're even wearing the same color today.
Yeah, we are.
He has a Superman cape underneath, too.
Matchy, matchy.
Okay, so Julie, let's throw it back to you. Do you have any other questions or topics that you'd like to discuss?
Me.
Yes, or would you like us to throw it to the audience?
Again. Our wonderful, adoring audience.
Can I ask a movie question?
Sure.
Favorite movie of 2015? Is everybody going to say the same thing?
No.
Oh, John.
Wait, okay, again, I'm in the same issue. What movies came out in 2000? I'm going to have to go to the Google to see what movies.
Well, I'm not saying it had to come out in 2015. What was your favorite movie of
I actually know.
2015? Okay.
Sicario.
Oh, yeah.
It's a movie a lot of people have not heard of.
That was
Okay.
like Emily Blunt and...
Benicio del Toro.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say much because if I say anything, it'll give away what goes on. But basically, Emily Blunt, she starts out as an FBI agent, and then she gets pulled in by the DEA to go basically work on the Mexican drug cartels. A phenomenal movie. Whatever you expect going into it, you're going to be wrong. I'll put it that way. It's a fantastic movie. Great acting, great plot, great script, great everything. I highly recommend. You know, everybody knows about Star Wars, yes, because it's Star Wars and it exceeded expectations. But if you have not seen Sicario, go see Sicario. Awesome movie.
I can tell you what my least favorite movie of 2015 was.
50 Shades of Grey.
No.
Oh!
That's just me.
Oh!
What is it?
The movie that we watched when we had like a romantic night and it was
Oh.
terrible.
Well, okay, so this was not a romantic movie.
No.
Ex Machina
Mm-mm.
was not. Is
I've heard of that. What was that? I know I've heard of it.
Terrible.
It's not romantic.
And terrifying.
It's terrifying
What,
because
what's that one set like in the future where there's like a robot chick or something?
It's set in present
But
time.
there's like a robot chick or something.
Yes.
And that's the whole point.
Yes.
She's a robot chick, but yeah. It was, oh my gosh, the ending. I had nightmares for weeks. I think Charlie didn't sleep that night either. I think we were both like laying next to each other awake because we didn't want to admit.
Isn't that a good ending then if it makes you that scared?
I don't want to give away too much because I think it was a very interesting movie to watch. And the whole time I was watching, I was like, this is really kind of deep and interesting. And then the ending happened and I went, oh my God, never again. Never, ever again. Hide this movie. I don't want to own it anymore. Please get it out of my house.
The ending was great, says Lost Shane.
Oh my gosh. It was
I want
realistic.
to see it now.
It was more realistic of an
Oh,
ending.
absolutely. It was very realistic.
No, is it like a Sixth Sense type of ending where like it's like, oh my gosh?
Not
Before
in the same
everybody knew what
way.
happened.
Well,
No, not in the same way.
there's definitely a twist to it, and you kind of have that moment of, oh shit, this could really happen, and we are screwed.
As a race. But anyway, it was
Okay.
to me that was my least. I mean,
Least
we don't go to the movies a whole lot. And we didn't go to the movies for this. We watched it at home.
Fair enough.
But you know, it was that, or it was the two we got it down to was that one and Much Ado About Nothing with Nathan Fillion. Why I didn't pick that movie, I have no idea. I think I did Eating, Meeting, Minding My Own.
You didn't like Much Ado About Nothing?
I haven't seen it yet. I haven't watched it.
I was like, Nathan Fillion, Much Ado
Nathan
About Nothing?
Fillion, and I'm totally
Why didn't you see that? I'm so confused.
The entire movie is a deep commentary on humans and technology. Absolutely, it is. It is 100%.
No, it is, and I'm not saying I'm not.
It's not a bad movie.
No.
It's just we thought
It's
that it was going to be.
terrifying.
Why did you think it was going to be a date night movie?
I don't know.
I don't know. Charlie convinced me to watch it. It's just
Well, there's your first problem.
Whedon's Much Ado is wonderful.
Well, you know what?
We made the wrong choice.
We're
that
doing
evening.
it very soon. I want to watch that movie.
I have so many movies that we still
We
have
still
in the
haven't seen
wrapper.
Dark Knight, for God's
Yeah, we
sake.
haven't seen Dark
We
Knight.
got it for Christmas, like what, 2 years
I
ago?
remember
We
that.
watched it. My brother-in-law, very nicely, that's his favorite movie. He gave it to us, and we still haven't watched it.
But that's Dark Knight Rises. We've seen Dark Knight.
Oh, we have seen Dark. You're right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Brain no work.
Let's see here. Let's see some of the movies that are still in the wrapper. Stranger Than Fiction.
Well, we've seen that.
I know. It's kind of a funny story. It's the one that has Zach Galifianakis in it. It's in a mental
Charlie's
institute.
favorite movie.
It's not my favorite movie. My favorite movie is 200 Girls.
Did you just say that publicly?
Yeah.
That's really your favorite movie.
Please turn in your nerd card.
Oh.
I lent mine out to hers, so
Yeah,
Wow.
it's my
He
fault.
just got served.
We watch a lot of Marvel movies. A lot.
Actually, I'm gonna blame it on the young ones. Why they haven't seen The Dark Knight Rises yet?
Can you mention anything with Chris
well, actually, you
Evans?
could blame it on Microsoft because we actually attempted to, but our Xbox One refused to recognize there was a Blu-ray in the disc.
Yeah, I'm getting
Right.
really frustrated with that. So it's
Yes,
See?
so it's Finn.
Did you see that?
It's Finn agrees. It's like what the
really
heck?
It's the
upset about it.
frustration, man. It's the frustration of not being able to easily put in Blu-ray
Blu-ray.
discs and have it work the first time.
So, what are y'all most excited about in the Marvel universe that's coming in the future? Because you all watch those.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Why Guardians of the Galaxy 2?
Because it's stupid funny, and you're not supposed to take it completely serious. And Chris Pratt is a great Star-Lord.
There you go.
Not to mention, I think Charlie finds him attractive, but
Chris Pratt?
yeah.
Who wouldn't?
Oh.
Is that his one get out of free jail card?
I think my favorite of all of them was the first Captain America movie.
Right, but which one are you waiting
I know,
for?
I'm getting there.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
I'm setting it up. Give me a minute.
All right, sign up.
So I'm excited to kind of see what they do with that, especially knowing that Chris Evans is not gonna be him going forward and how it's written in the comics and everything. But
Oh, that's right. Doctor Strange.
Yes, I'm super excited
Yes,
about
I want
that
to see that too. Really, really bad.
because
I'm really looking forward to Civil War.
yeah.
Well, yeah.
I'm super excited about
Yeah.
that. I know it's like the mainstream one to look forward to, but I'm still looking forward to the
One thing I'm
mainstream.
not looking forward to that I think has just been hyped up too much and is probably going to end up being terrible is the Superman Batman movie.
I saw the previews for it, and I
Yeah.
was not impressed.
Me neither.
Like, I saw it, I'm like,
Oh,
Greg!
Cripple Doc Crimple Snatch as Doctor Strange.
Do not insult my one. Is he now my Hollywood cheat man?
I think so.
It was Nathan Fillion, but Benedict might have overtaken him. I mean, it's close. It's super close.
yeah, I just never
Nathan's
seen,
still single, so maybe I'll stick with him.
I've never seen the preview for, Superman versus Batman, all of a sudden, and Wonder Woman just jumps in with her
I'm like,
shield.
huh? I mean, she looked
Yeah.
great and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, she's like hot, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, but
Look,
they need her own movie. You need like a Black
No.
Widow or a
Thank
Wonder
you.
Woman.
But-
That's what you need.
Right,
Thank
but the
you.
problem is that Hollywood still
They're still run
around
by 80-year-old white men.
egotistical morons.
Yes.
I mean, you go, okay, let's get into this. Let's talk about the Target gift bundles with all the main characters in movies. The Guardians of the Galaxy was missing Gamora.
She's
The
huge.
the
It's
Star
a court
Wars
case, that's funny.
Force Awakens was missing Rey.
You
how
can't
the hell
miss
could
Rey
you
as the main
miss-
character, is she not? Like, to me, when I saw
And
that
she's
movie,
awesome!
she was the main character.
She's incredible.
She's an ass
Her and
kicker
the
too.
droid.
Yes.
I mean, they were the main characters. I have to say that I love that Finn was Finn. And being that we named our second child Finn. Before,
and,
we had
and
no
our
idea.
nephew's name is Ben.
Yeah, so he's the bad guy.
So we have Finn and Ben, and Finn
And they're
wins.
going to fight each other.
Yeah.
Death.
Fight.
Will it be a death match?
I don't know. Ben could probably squish him right now.
Mm.
He's a good deal bigger.
Yeah.
But
Have we watched Jessica Jones?
Yes.
I have
I've
not
watched-
yet.
I've watched like 6 episodes now,
I love it.
and I like it a lot.
I'm a big fan
and
of Jessica Jones.
The thing that just tears my heartstrings to pieces is David Tennant as Kilgrave because he does it so creepily.
She does it perfectly.
But I'm like, no, you're the doctor. You're supposed to be like bouncy happy, not you sadistic asshole who can.
Typecasting.
Oh, he does it so well, though.
I know he does.
Actually, if you're really gonna typecast, there's an actor who's like the bad guy. He was in like Warehouse 13, and he was the bad guy.
Oh no, you're talking about the guy who played Badger in
Yes, he was
Firefly.
in Battlestar Galactica. He's
Uh,
been in tons of shows. He's always the bad
Well,
He's
okay,
a
so
short dude, right?
yeah,
Yes.
he turned. He's the British short dude. He turned bad in.
That's a
in-
terrible way to refer to him. The
That's
short
what
dude.
Like
Well,
he
he
would have
turned bad in
been like
Warehouse
the
13.
stereotypical
No, I
Kilgrave
remember.
if he was in Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
That's what he would have been. But yeah, I agree. I love Jessica Jones.
Now I need to watch it. I watched a few episodes of Daredevil, and it just was.
Mark Shepard, yes.
It was so violent. It was just so violent. I had to take a step back.
I'm not a big I like action
It's just
movies,
too much.
but Daredevil is just doesn't. I watched it. I stopped watching it probably 4 times.
I like his
I
sense of
did not
humor.
binge watch it. I watched 2
Yeah.
episodes, stop. Watched 2 episodes, stop. Daredevil didn't do it for me.
Yeah.
I-
I mean, I liked it to a certain degree, but I also didn't think there was much chemistry between the main characters got together so quickly, but there was like no,
I just didn't like Daredevil as a character.
not your fave.
No, he just wants. I was just like, eh.
Now, if we were to talk about TV shows that I can't get enough of, and unfortunately it's a British show, so they don't make, there's no standard for.
Doctor Who.
No, okay. Okay, yeah, I know. Non-Who, a great show that myself and my brother-in-law really enjoy from the BBC, but you never know when the next season's coming, and this is going to be the final one. Is a show called Luther with Idris Elba as the cop that kind of bends the rules. The show
It's more
is
about
actually.
Hey,
absolutely.
Kingpin is amazing. He is amazing in the show. I will
It's,
give you that. He's awesome.
Who plays Kingpin? It's the guy from
Yeah, I love Kingpin.
Black Mirror season 3 is coming to Netflix. They did a Christmas episode, White Christmas, which is maybe the best episode. Okay, Black Mirror is is a very interesting show, and it's not made for everyone. It's definitely not an everyone show, but it's basically like, I guess, this generation's Twilight Zone type deal. And
But I really like that they just came out season 4 of Netflix. Person of Interest.
No.
never got into it.
Really?
No.
I love Person of Interest.
No.
How come?
I don't like Caviezel. I can't stand that guy.
Because he talks in a low voice this time.
No, because he's
just like
he's
this.
just I just don't like him.
Oh,
Thank you,
we'll
Lasha.
kick your
It's
Shauna.
like Mel Gibson. I
Luther
don't like
is
Mel
a
Gibson.
wonderful show. It
No,
is
I like
awesome.
it. It's a good show. It also gets into the idea of like artificial intelligence and how it impacts us. It's
Yeah,
actually
we've
good.
already been through that with Ex Machina. That I don't want to deal with that. That scares me.
Oh.
AI is a bad idea.
That's basically what the show is about.
Yes, that it's a bad idea. So maybe I would like it. No, I don't. Well, it's kind of like, what was that, Minority Report?
Yes.
Isn't that kind of what Person of Interest is sort of kind of like?
Yeah, actually it is. Yeah,
Like crime and
yeah, precog basically.
It's right. Person of interest.
Yes.
Jesus and Bin Linus
I just
fight
like crime.
crime.
Exactly.
You're right. He basically is Jesus in the show.
And Ben Linus.
No,
is
he
not-
played Jesus.
he
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a Christ.
yeah.
But no, I no, I'm not a big. Is there anything we've really gotten into this season, Charlie, that is new? Well, I've gotten into
And what?
Quantico and How to Get Away with Murder. Those are 2.
No, it's not.
seasons.
You would think it's a Lost spinoff, but it's
No,
not.
it's not. It's nothing like Lost.
Um,
It's not.
But
uh,
Ben Linus is in it, and he wears
I know.
glasses.
Cody has a limp.
Okay.
I've tried to get into The Expanse, but there's only like 4 episodes, and of course they've taken a break because of the holidays. I need to get into
Yeah, I
Fargo.
need
I
to get
keep
into
hearing
Fargo.
amazing things about Fargo.
And I like what's his name, Patrick Wilson too.
and the
He
cast
gets-
keeps like evolving to like add more awesome people. So, a show I'd like to go back and start watching again is The Strain.
Hey,
I'd also like
get down.
to actually try to dive into Orphan Black. Excuse me.
That's
To be honest with you,
No. Well, I haven't seen Fargo, so I can't say. But to me, I don't know if you can call it. Well, I guess it's not a miniseries. It was a couple of seasons, but
So,
Newsroom.
Newsroom.
Best TV show I think I've ever seen, in my opinion.
You liked it better than
I loved it.
West Wing?
West Wing, I binged and
Just
I
'cause it was
watched
Aaron
like 2
Sorkin.
or 3 seasons. I love Aaron Sorkin. I
Yeah.
love quickness. I love the humor that gets buried in the quickness, but I get
The
it.
thing is, you know what really
But
did?
West Wing, I had to stop.
The
I
thing
didn't
about
break.
the thing about West Wing
So much.
is what did it for the whole quick wittiness and all that was oh what the hell's his name? He left after season 4.
Martin Sheen.
No, Martin Sheen was there the whole time.
Was he?
Yes,
I don't know.
he was.
I didn't never.
No, the one who went on, he did drugs, he got caught with the underage girl.
It's
Ben Lowe.
He left to do
Lowe.
Lion's Den.
Rob Lowe.
Rob Lowe.
Rob
He was the one who
I
really
enjoyed
made that
Newsroom.
work.
Too bad it only had 3 seasons. I totally agree.
But they couldn't keep all of those
No.
hot people together for that much longer.
No.
I mean, plus they were.
There's shows
It's not
from
that
New
they were
Zealand.
running out of material, but
Oh, it went downhill.
the Almighty Johnsons. Is that the one? Is it they're like Australian or
Yeah, New Zealand.
New Zealand.
Right.
Oh, sorry,
I've never heard of that.
NZ. I totally binged that show and I loved it. It was so cute and fun and quick because it was only like what 3 seasons, 3 seasons, something like that. And for that, I find that shows in that area are kind of made a little bit more cheaply than they are here. You know, the U.S. spends a lot of money on, but man, it was cute. It's brothers, but they're descendants of gods or
Kind of like Percy Jackson.
yes, but not as like like Percy Jackson. And
3 seasons of
one of
Almighty
them's like the god of love, and
Did
the
they-
next brother is the god of ice, and the next one is the god of, and then they
Was there any
have one
closure?
that's Zeus.
After 3 seasons.
Oh yeah, no, they gave you closure. There was a definite ending to that, but you know, it was fun. It was fun. I enjoyed that very much.
I'll have to check out Danger 5.
After Almighty Johnson.
Well, I've got to get through all my other shows too.
Yeah, I don't see how that's gonna happen.
I keep
So
adding.
that's my problem. My Netflix keeps on growing.
That's because you watch like trashy young adult.
Hey, just because I just binge watched the last season of Scandal doesn't mean I'm a terrible person.
That's not young adult.
It's still trashy.
And
It's so trashy.
oh gosh, yes, I love it. I love Scandal. I haven't kept up with this.
Oh, Mr. President, I can't keep my hands.
Have you gotten into How to Get Away with Murder? Because it's very similar. Just less
I
president.
couldn't stand that.
I know
show.
he didn't like it, and I did. I got
After
into
3
it on
episodes, I'm like,
maternity
I'm done. I'm done.
Well, I was
this
at
is
home
terrible.
with him for 3 months, and I needed something, and so I got into that.
Doctor Who.
See, I'm all about trash.
I liked Matt Smith. I watched the majority of Matt Smith ones. I'm good.
I know.
That's
Oh,
all
that's
I
fine.
need.
Well,
I don't need.
That's her
David
only.
Tennant was fun, but he's not Matt Smith, and I like Matt Smith. So
No, nobody is David Tennant. I'm sorry, you're wrong.
You mean no one's who liked David Tennant.
No, just in general, nobody's David Tennant.
Well, yeah,
But all I see is Brody Couch Jr. when I look at him.
this is true. She watched
Like
the
I
Harry
keep
Potter
waiting for the tongue
movies.
to come out of the side of his mouth, like every time he's in that, because I'm kind of Harry Potter obsessed.
Okay,
So
fair enough.
I'm listening to this. So I have read the books multiple times, except for book 5 because
Too
it was
angsty.
way too angsty. I've watched all the movies, and I'm now going through and listening to them on audiobook for the first time. I'm on the 3rd one now on Askban, and I love it. It's
Wow.
so much fun to listen to.
Huh.
On the way to work, on the way home. if
So
I'm
my
out
problem
for a
is I
walk.
don't want to reread book 5.
Thank you.
That's my problem. Because
It's
it's like
terrible.
800
So
pages
good.
of emo.
Oh, yes.
That's what it is. Like everything else is great, but just book
Well, and I
5.
think that's the
I'm like,
one movie
ugh.
that Daniel Radcliffe said he was drunk through the majority of filming, and I'm like, well, it worked because it was such an annoying book.
Oh, is that
The
the
movie
one where they
wasn't
did?
bad, and everybody says it's one of the better movies.
Is that the one where
I'm
they
like,
did? Was that the Yule Ball too, where him and his
No, that's
were just
more.
total douchebags?
That's Goblet of Fire.
Okay.
No, that's basically every high school boy at a dance, though.
Fair enough. I just rewatched it like, oh my gosh. Oh no, that was not me.
I feel like every time I get on this show, I somehow end up bringing up Harry Potter. I'm sorry.
It's
It's
all
alright.
right.
It's
I
in
just
everything.
love it.
Well, I love Harry Potter,
I love Harry Potter.
I love the books.
but you're too
Yeah,
pretentious
Charlie's
to
a
like the
purist.
movies.
He is too pretentious like movies.
Yes.
Sometimes when I'm watching it, I'll see him like looking at it, and then he'll just shake his head, but he'll keep watching.
My other problem is like,
That's
I
not
can-
what happened in the book.
I
They
can read the
shortened that.
books.
You can't do the whole book. It would take like 8 hours to do a movie.
See, my
I
problem
would
is-
do that.
if I
He would do that.
if I watch the movie like well after I've read the book, I'm fine. But like I saw the 6th movie like a week after I finished the 6th book, so
Or
I
the
hated
Phoenix.
it.
Yes, because
Oh, he's
you
too
did-
close.
Well, I saw the first 4 movies before I read the first book.
Okay.
So I binge read all of the books in 2 weeks. All what 7
Nice.
of them. And Charlie, he got the 7th book. I finished reading the entire series before he finished the 7th book. And I was like, now I know that some of them are shorter than the 7th book, most certainly. But my God, I read 6 before him. And
Books
I
5
loved
and
it.
6 are pretty beefy.
But I realized how much the movie did leave out, especially the first movie. Left out so much of the book, and so much more was explained in the book to the point where I read it and I went, oh, that makes so much more sense.
Yes.
But, at the same time, I still enjoy the movies. And also watch them.
They're still enjoyable.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry. Harry Potter rant over.
That's okay.
Nothing, but no other series I feel like young adult has lived up to that.
You mean like novels?
Yeah.
How many young
What
adult
about
novels like Harry
Twilight?
Potter do you read? Like Percy Jackson.
No. But I mean like any of the series that have come out since Harry Potter for that audience
Twilight.
is not even in the same book. But like, you know, even Hunger Games or
Hunger
the
Games
Insurgent
came pretty dang
series.
close.
not to me, no.
I really enjoyed the Hunger Games series.
I did until
I enjoyed it much more than I thought I would.
Did you? I enjoyed it. I mean, it was a good.
I really
read
enjoyed it because she was
until
such
the
a
third.
flawed and broken hero.
Yeah.
And just like the way, like, you always expect her to pull through in the end and be the hero.
Yeah.
And in the end, she just got punched in the face time and time after again and again. And I find that really interesting that, you know, the young adult series, the main protagonist just kept getting her ass kicked over and over.
Yeah.
Wait,
She's so
what? Danger 5 plug. In every episode, Hitler escapes by diving through a window. Same shot every episode. Hitler, if that doesn't entice you to watch Danger 5, nothing will. The Hunger Games are darker than Harry Potter.
Yes.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, the
Oh,
Hunger Games
hell yeah.
are pretty dark.
Yeah.
Especially book 3. I mean, it's kind of...
It gets, yeah.
But that's one reason it was just a lot different. Because the first book is basically Battle Royale.
Yeah.
And so after the
I
first
think that
book,
was my favorite.
and so after the first book, I was very skeptical of 2 of 3. So
Yeah,
after the
how were
first
they
one,
going to do it?
I'm like, really? This is
Yeah.
Battle Royale? Now I'm gonna read. But after book 2 and 3, I'm like, okay. Like now book 1 is like, eh. But books 2 and 3 were.
I
actually
liked
interesting
book
to me.
1 and 2. I did not like 3.
Yeah.
I had a hard time with 3, and I was trying to milk it so that it wouldn't be over because I was enjoying it. But I don't. No, it's not. It's not that I don't like the darker stuff. I just
Okay,
really enjoy
if you like
it more.
darker stuff, have you ever read any Glenn Cook? That is some dark stuff.
Lenka, I haven't.
Basically, he's the grandfather of dark fantasy. Of like very dark and very gritty, hard stuff. That just takes no holds bar in terms of what's going on.
Oh my! I know who that is. That is now.
I don't know that one.
I own the first 2 books, and the third book is releasing chapter by chapter by chapter on Juke Punk. I think that's what it's called. Ladies and gentlemen, Lost Shaman is the one, the only Louis Pasteur III. I have revealed his identity! Which, of course, you need to
Made that sound like it's
Probably
terrible.
shouldn't have done that.
go get his books.
You're gonna make secret spy.
He's got 3 books. He's got 2 in the Saga of Ukamong, and then he's got a one that's yes. Tell me where to buy it, and I will buy it immediately because I need to know the next chapter.
Just go download some BitTorrent. Problem solved.
No, and I'm not ashamed to say this, but so I met Lost Shaman. Not this past Andocon, but the previous one. I bought both his books. I then turned around and bought both of them on my Kindle. So I have a hard copy and a digital copy, and I'll do the same with a third.
You got
book.
it everywhere.
Right,
Just
it's
put
great.
on the screen.
It's great.
There's a waving butt.
Sarah Vowell's Unfamiliar Fishes is a wonderful, humorous look at the history of Hawaii. Interesting.
I was just send that to my uncle. Because he lives in
I've been
Hawaii.
to Hawaii.
My uncle lives there.
I've always wanted
He owns a restaurant.
What's it called?
Bachi Bistro. It's
Like
really
it.
good.
Is
What?
it really good?
It's really good. Like, it's one of those places where you go and you have a turnover of like 2 tables a night. Because you go there and like you're expected, like you don't have to obviously, but like you
Spend
take
a
your
lot
time, you drink a bottle of wine, you take it easy, like it's that type of restaurant.
Oh. Well, I think Finn and I are
Witcher.
going to have to.
Okay.
Yeah, I think.
Bye, Finn. Bye.
We've reached our limit.
I think Finn's had enough.
Well, we'll see you in the very, very near future.
Yes.
Thank you for coming on, Finn and Julie.
Yay!
You're welcome.
And we will continue
The
to trash
Witcher
talk Harry
books.
Potter while you're gone.
Oh man, that's not nice.
Okay, so this is Lost Shaman brings up a very interesting component. Is Finn in sanitation? Yes, he is.
Although I have to say, my favorite books I've read recently are still probably Patrick Rothfuss.
Patrick Rothfuss, yeah.
Rothfuss, The Name of the Wind, and
A Wise Man
The Wise Man's Fears.
And then-
amazing. Especially as the first one, I think is much better personally. Only because the second one kind of drags on sometimes.
Okay, so Lost Shaman brings up something very interesting, and that is that there is a book series that's attached to a game series. When will Crystal Pepsi be sold? God, I wish. Poop joke, everyone. Cue closing music. The Witcher books are the series that the Witcher video games are based on. Right. So you look at that, and you just had the new Star Wars came out, and basically they basically threw out all of the
Extended universe.
extended universe. Just forget about it.
Disney said that it's no longer there.
Right.
Once Disney took over, they're like, okay, we're redoing everything.
So my question for you, for the entire audience and Zealeus as well, is: all right, let's say that you have you've got your favorite movie or a favorite game series, and then there's a book series that comes out. Would you want the book series to expand upon the universe that you're familiar with, or expand with different characters within that universe to give you a more rich idea of the expanse of said universe?
I'm personally a fan of expanding upon the universe we already know.
Okay.
I like to learn if there's like characters or planets or universes we already know and exist.
Mm-hmm.
I like to expand upon those and see more of the adventures of people that we're already familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it seems like what you see often, what I've read in like a few recent fantasy books, is what you'll do is like one book will be about, say, Planet A.
Mm-hmm.
Book 2 is about Planet B. And then in book 3, both those universes come together magically is what ends up happening.
Right.
So that way you kind of get the perspective of both of them. Like a recent series I've read that I just have a mind blank on is the first book was written from the perspective of the antagonist. Just a purely evil sociopathic person is the first book. The second book is about the protagonist. And the third book is still about the protagonist, but now all of a sudden the antagonist from the first book comes into the third book to try to kill the protagonist, basically. And I've seen that a couple times where you kind of divvy up the universe that way.
Mm-hmm.
But generally speaking, I like to see expanding upon the same universe I've already read about. Now, I also got to say, I don't read a whole lot of, I never really much say from The Witcher or when they did the EU, the extended universe of Star Wars, or I know Diablo had lots of that stuff.
Eve's got it too.
I read a lot of fantasy novels, but I've never really gotten into the fantasy novels based off of books or movies. They've always been like their own intellectual property. So it's kind of hard for me to really be like, oh yeah, because I've never really read upon that type of stuff. But like maybe another interesting example would be like take for instance the Great Book of Amber, right?
Oh god.
You got the first 5 books,
Yeah.
which are about Corwin, right? Isn't that his name?
It's Oberon, I thought.
No, the protagonist.
Right. Yeah.
And
Anne
then
Rice did do that with a lot of her vampire
and
books.
then you got the second 5 books, which it's about his son, and you still have a little bit of overlap, but it's for all intents and purposes a new idea, but it still builds on the universe that Zelazny already created
Right.
in the first 5.
Right.
So to me, that worked out pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's some good stuff. I've never gone to Anret.
Come on, man.
Lost Shaman, if you're here, I'd throw my glass of wine on you. And I like wine.
And
I don't-
here I was about to show off.
The Great Book of Amber is easily, like the first 5 is, it's the Mac Daddy. If you don't like Amber, I don't like you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to point this out since we have Lost Shaman in the crowd. Currently, there are 2 books, and then there's like a short story type. It's not a short story. It's basically a different aspect to the same universe to kind of give you a little bit more understanding of some stuff that goes on there. Yes, Craig, we are up for an early demo of Capers. You're looking for friends to put the deck of cards mechanics through its paces. Absolutely. So these books are all part of the Saga of Bukamon. The first one is called Racked, and the second one is called Desecrated.
Right on.
And the interesting thing about this, the one thing that's very interesting about this series is that the characters only know what's in their head. Okay?
They're not omniscient beings.
No. So when it's told from Rack's point of view, all he can kind of the third one's going to be called Flayed. The only thing that Rack knows is what's in his mind and what people have told him.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like, Bryn is thinking about this, or
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
so it's very unique, and I highly recommend that you pick up these two, and then when Flayed comes out, pick up that one as well. And then I apologize, I cannot remember what the spin-off book is. I want to call it like a pyramid or something.
The pyramid scheme.
Right, they are written in a first-person perspective.
But still, even when you think about it, a lot of books even ran in the first person perspective. You don't really think about it while reading it. But if you look back, that person probably in the first person knew a lot more than any being has a right to know.
Right.
In that first person.
Shadows of the Pyramid. But the interesting thing about thus far is that Rack, who's the main character, he's like average when it comes to the intelligence of what's going on, and he's lost a lot. It's not like he has this, it's not the stereotypical reluctant hero or hero with amnesia. I'm so sick and tired of those. But it's a good series. I purchased them at Andocon 2014. I ran home. I read them immediately, and then of course I started badgering the crap out of the author as much as I know, as much as I could, to get the third book, and he's about to finish it off. The audience only knows as much as the main character knows.
There you go.
So very interesting take. I highly enjoyed it, and of course, the Shadow of the Pyramid was awesome. It was a different pace, and Patrick Rothfuss did. He did.
A novella based on the sewers chick.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I don't remember.
And that, but it's told from her perspective. Yep. So if you're looking for Patrick Rothfuss's way of writing in those first two, you're going to be completely thrown off by the way that other book is written, because it doesn't have that same pace. You're basically reading how that girl's mind works.
And oh, does she have a way of thinking?
Yeah, she has a very unique way of thinking.
Yeah,
so
she doesn't think like us.
It's definitely something different, but it still works out amazingly well.
There you go.
So yeah. So personally, I do like when it comes to books that are based off a movie series or a gaming franchise. What I like is maybe books that continue to expand the universe, but are based around those minor characters that you might have seen. Oh my gosh, I can't remember. Well, okay, let me think about a game or a movie that's been out for a long time, so I could do this here.
No spoilers.
Yeah, I want to do Star Wars, but I don't want to give anything away.
Yeah.
So let's say, hell, we'll do the original Star Wars. That's been out for a long enough time. Let's say a more in-depth idea of how Yoda was raised and how he came to be one of the Jedi Masters. Something like that, where yes, Yoda is a major character, but it's not
something you saw in the movie.
Right, absolutely. It basically a book that kind of it's like reading an article that has like a link to more information on something specific. It's like, oh, this is the cousin of this, I don't know, spider is this spider. Click here for more information. You can find out more information about that, and you can come right back.
There you go.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, we have reached the end of our show, which, of course, is very saddening to both myself and Zealeus. We hate to leave y'all.
You're gonna force me to drink more now.
I know. But we do want to take this moment and wish everyone a Happy New Year's. If you have already celebrated, congratulations.
Woo!
We are, I don't know,
3 hours.
just under 3 hours away. So be good. Do resolutions if you want to. I'm not going to try to keep anyone to the resolutions.
Find the mistletoe.
That's for Christmas.
I don't care. It's New Year's for me.
Thanks for the great stuff in 2015. I'll be on the show soon. Woo! Yeah, Craig. And Lost Shaman, if you want to come on and talk about your books, man, you hit me up, and we could definitely set something up. We could do like an author's deal. Also, as some of you might have heard, we are trying to set up a time with James Simpson, the gentleman who's trying to get Larry Elmore's Snarf Quest into reality. Awesome. The thing is that he can't do Thursday night, so we'll have to do a special show, which I don't think anyone's going to like be mad about. I think the more live shows we could do, the better. And Lost Shaman, that works. I totally understand that when you're near the end of a project, you definitely do not need to worry about making public appearances until after the project is completed. But anyways, once again, thank you for tuning in to the Alter Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. Remember that every Thursday, unless we explicitly tell you so, we will be here on twitch.tv/Altered Confusion live for your enjoyment from 8 p.m. Eastern Time to 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Also known as 7 o'clock Central Time till 8:15 Central Time.
Which he has to do every single time. But anyways.
It's very important to know.
So once again, thank you for tuning in. Happy New Year. Have a safe rest of the evening. I'm glad that you decided to start your evening off the correct way by watching us on the Thursday Night Hangout. And of course, we will see you in 2016.
And remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother.